Hi, Geraldine Carter here. I work with single owner CPAs, typically in the mid six figures of revenue, who want to get down to a 40-hour work week and then a 25-hour work week, but without giving up revenue. So it might feel to you like maybe you are sick of working, and sometimes you wonder if the money is even worth it. And if you're anything like a lot of the CPAs I work with, they will say that they feel like they are constantly behind. They feel trapped by the need to pay staff. Sometimes they work 10, 12-hour days, and when they're at work, they are wishing that they were doing something else, maybe with their family. And then when they're with their family, they're still preoccupied with work. And they have often given up on their own needs. Walks, yoga, it's gone out the window. And sometimes stress levels are through the roof. And you want to work less, but in trying to think about how to work less, your brain just can't solve the puzzle because there's work to do that has to get done. And if you try and let go of clients, you think you can't let go of that revenue because you need the revenue to pay your staff. So you then think about hiring staff, but then sometimes they are greener than you hope, or they take a bunch of training. And then you're thinking about the systems, all the stuff that's in your head, and you've got to get it down to them. But you also have all the work that you need to do. And oftentimes the technical work, you're the only one with the technical expertise. So that ends up on your plate too. And then you're chasing clients for documents every month. There's month end close, and information comes in dribs and drabs. And during tax season, same deal. You send out an email that you need 10 things, and you get two, and then you get three more, and then you get one more. And you do this pick up, put down, open, close that's really inefficient. And you sometimes work long days into the night, sometimes weekends, and the solution just does not appear, right? You've tried working more hours, but you work more hours and there's just always another problem around the corner. That doesn't seem to solve it. You've tried hiring staff to pick up some of the workload, but if they're too green or they require a lot of training, that doesn't really solve it either. It might help, but it doesn't solve it. And you might have tried firing a few clients. You've got some of the real pains in the neck off of your roster, but that hasn't been enough either. And you have probably tried apps and Zaps and ChatGPT to help with your emails and your templates, and that may have helped, but that also hasn't solved it. And it's also an investment to figure out how to string all those things together and get them into your workflows. And you may have tried raising prices 10% or 20%, and that may have helped, but that also hasn't solved it. So you're trying to figure out, if I've tried all these things that would seem to make sense, how come it hasn't worked? And the answer is that none of that was ever going to completely solve the problem, because the traditional accounting firm business model is fundamentally flawed. It is based on a formula that is staff doing work overtime for clients is what generates revenue. And the thing is that is not what generates revenue. So if you've been in this model of staff performing work overtime for clients and the clients pay you, that formula, that equation, if you look at it, leads directly to more working and more hours. So this is where the flaw is. It is in the formula, the revenue equation that many accountants have been running their accounting practices off of for decades, if not a century or more. And this was the going model. It was the only model that existed pretty much until recently. It hasn't been that long that people have been talking about pricing and niching and positioning and all those things. So it hasn't been very long that you've had other options to look at, but still it's the minority who are creating these other options in these other ways. So the accounting firm model it was never going to work for you. So of course it wasn't working. So meanwhile, you're thinking about the business that you have and the life that you want to live. And what you would really love to have is a business that is easier, that is simpler, that is lighter, that you enjoy, that you're happy to have, and you look forward to going to work, and you have high-paying clients who are happy to pay you. And you do work that you love and that lights you up, right? And you are well compensated. You're not looking to make $1 billion, but take home a couple $100K, stuff your 401k, maybe get yourself in position to sell in 5 or 10 years and have a nice cushion to retire on, right? You're not looking to build your empire, but you want a business and accounting practice that fits nicely into your life and supports your life, instead of being this giant ball of stress that takes up your life and sort of crowds out the other parts of your life and sometimes your family time. But the thing is that you've tried to solve this problem already with more staff, more technology, and perhaps raising prices a little bit and firing a few clients, but it hasn't worked. And the worst thing is to conclude that the vision that you have and the accounting practice that you want to have, the thing you dream of, is not achievable, right? And sometimes I hear CPAs who've put their dream up on the shelf and just decided that it's not possible. And what I want you to know is that that vision that you have is entirely within your reach. And I know how to get you there. It's what I do. I work with CPAs who are overworked, working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and we get their time down and we flatline their revenue. Usually their revenue goes up, but we focus on getting the time down first while flatlining the revenue so that we can focus on the time first and get the CPA out of the overworking, off the overworking treadmill. So the thing that I want you to know is that you only have 3 problems. And those 3 problems are in your business that you need to solve are creating value for clients, capturing the value that you create with pricing, and getting very efficient on delivering the results, right? So you have the money problem on one side, which is value creation and capturing the value you create with your prices. And then on the time side, you have getting super duper efficient. And money and time are 2 separate problems, and we solve them separately. In the accounting space with the traditional thinking, money and time were trade-offs. You either had more money or you had more time, but you couldn't have both. And what I want you to know is that money and time, revenue and time, are 2 separate problems. They're on 2 separate spectrums, and we approach them differently and we solve them differently. Revenue does not come from your clients. Revenue comes from value creation. And thinking that revenue comes from clients is like thinking that time comes from your watch. So we need to shift how you think and help you see all of the value that you are already creating for your clients, that you already know how to do, but just haven't been given the tools to capture the value that you create with your prices. So that's one of the things that we focus on so that we can keep your revenue where you want it to be, while we also focus on delivery and making that so much more efficient with healthier business boundaries for your clients, better systems, buttoned up systems so that you're not using your brain to remember how to do things. Instead, you're using it for higher level, higher quality thinking. And that's when we put these all together, that's when your business, your accounting practice gets so much easier to run. It starts to feel easy. And you can leave the office knowing that everything is taken care of for the day and that you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night wondering if you've checked the box on whatever form. So I want you to know that having the accounting practice that you want is entirely doable, and it's simpler than you think, and it's probably closer at hand than you might even know. So there are a lot of resources here that I have for CPAs just like you. There are a lot of free resources. Take advantage of anything and everything that's free. And if you want my eyes, my attention, my brain laser focused right on your business, there are also options like down to 40 hours and down to 25-hour CPA masterminds, strategy sessions, the video version of a lot of my content and expertise. So please take advantage of anything and everything that is here in whatever way that suits you to help you get closer to the accounting practice that you would love to have. I'm so glad you're here. Have a beautiful day.